Good morning, children. Saira, welcome back to our science class. And today's video, let us learn about something very interesting and very important topic. And will also explore some important facts or surprising facts behind that. So, what is the topic, bud? Yes, let's find out what is the topic. So, what can you see on the screen? Yeah, it's a wonderful winter season. So, don't you feel like you want to go out and play in that snow? Yes, we all feel like we'll go there and play outside. But don't you think with these normal clothes, can you go out and play? Yes, of course not. When we wear the normal clothes, we cannot go out and play with such a cold climatic condition. So, what you have to do? Yes, we have to wear warm clothes, that is woolen clothes. So, with these warm clothes, we can adapt ourselves to the weather outside. Right, children? So, animals there are many animals who adapt themselves in different climatic conditions. So today we are going to learn in lesson number 8 adaptations in animals, and this lesson is a very big lesson, so I have divided into many parts. So let us go and let us learn, understand slowly and properly. So today is part 1. Now, as I said, with these warm clothes, we can adapt the climatic condition, the cold climatic condition outside. So, what do you mean by adapted? Adapted means we have changed ourselves for a new condition. So, if it is cold outside, we wear woolen clothes. If it is very hot outside, we wear normal clothes. So, right, that is called adaptation. So, adaptation means that we change ourselves for the new condition. So, we have to wear warm clothes when it is cold outside. And so now we have adjusted ourselves to this cold conditions. Now, look at this penguin. So where does the penguin live? In the ice glaciers, that is near the poles. So how this, do you think this penguin also wears the warm clothes like us? Yes, think and tell me. And why it is not feeling cold? It lives in the ice glaciers near the poles. So how does it adapt in such a cold weather? Because penguins do not need any warm clothes like us. Though it lives in the ice glaciers, because their natural homes are near the poles, and these animal bodies are adapted to their natural homes. So the natural home of animals is called habitat. Habitat. The natural homes of the animals are called as habitats. Now, what does this habitat means? So, now I'll show you the pictures of some animals, and you have to tell me the habitat, that is, where does it live? So, what is the habitat of this fish? So, let us learn more about habitat now. Now, look at these animals. So, fish. So, where do the fish live? Fish lives in water. So, water is the habitat of a fish. And camel is desert. So, desert is the habitat of the camel. And penguin near the poles. And giraffe, forest. And monkey on trees. So, fish is the habitat Fish is called the habitat of aquatic. So fish habitat is called aquatic. So where does the fish live? In the water. So what is the habitat of the fish is called aquatic, right? And so fish lives in water. So the habitat of a fish is aquatic. We call it as aquatic. And camel lives in the dry and sandy place. So the habitat of the camel is desert. So desert is a habitat. And where do the giraffe live? It lives in forest and on land. So it is called terrestrial. Terrestrial is a habitat. Penguin. It lives in the cold areas near the poles. So poles is the habitat of the penguin. And monkeys on trees. So they are called arboreal, and the arboreal is the habitat of the monkeys. So as the lesson goes, we will learn different habitats of different animals. Now, what is an adaptation? As I explained you that when the weather is cold outside, we to protect us from the cold weather, we wear the warm clothes and adapt to the present climatic condition. That is called adaptation. So the features in animals. So animals doesn't wear the clothes, right? So how do they get adapt? So the features in animals, the different features of the how the body is made, right? Features means how the body is made, what is the specialty of the animals, because each and every animals are different from one another. So the features in animals which help them to survive in their habitats are called adaptations. So what is an adaptation? The features in animals which help them to survive in their habitat is called adaptation. So like plants, animals are also found all over the world. So in the last chapter, we learned how do the plants get adapted, right? So the animals, we can see the animals in the deepest oceans and in the highest mountains. Everywhere we can find the animals as well as the plants. And each and every place are very different from each other. So what is a habitat? So the surroundings or the environment in which an animal or a plant lives is called its habitat. So what is the habitat? The surroundings or the environment in which an animal or a plant lives is called its habitat. So we already know that plants and animals are living in different surroundings and they are adapted to surviving in their surroundings. Okay. Now, you know what is this? Yes, it is a beautiful, it is our earth. Earth is a planet. So the earth has many habitats. So there are different habitats on the earth. So they are cold mountains. So the mountain side, it is very cold. And we have icy polar region. So I'll explain you what is polar region later. So this is icy polar region and open grassland. So it is open and it is a flat land. And the rainforests are very thick, and the hot and dry deserts where we don't find plants and water, and we have salty oceans and rivers in the on the earth. So the living condition in these habitats are very different from each other, but animals live in every one of them. Animals live in the icy cold polar region, cold mountains, you can find in the desert also, you can find in the rivers also, you can find in the deep ocean also, you can find in the thick forest also. We can see the animals everywhere. But animals live in every one of them because they are adapted to their surroundings, because they are adapted to their surroundings. Animals lives in rotten logs, coral reefs, tidal pools. This all you will study in higher standard. Now let's revise what we have learned today. So what is a habitat? So what is a habitat? Yes, the surroundings or the environment in which an animal or a plant lives is called its habitat. The surroundings or the environment in which an animal or the plant live is called its habitat, because in the desert animals can't live in the forest or on the open grassland. So it has got adapted to the desert. So that is called habitat. What are the different types of habitat? There are five major habitats. They are forests, grasslands, deserts, mountains, and polar regions, and aquatic habitat. So we have many different types of habitats. And what is an adaptation? Adaptation means the features in animals which help them to survive in their habitats are called adaptation, are called as adaptations. Now tell me, what habitats do humans live in? We know that we can see animals everywhere, in the cold mountains, in the polar regions, in the forest. So do the human beings can live in forest? Do you think that human beings can live in forest? No, we cannot live in the forest. So what habitat do humans live in? So human habitats are places where people live and where they can find all the things they need to survive. So where can you see the human beings? Where they can get everything and where they, yes, they find all the things and they can survive there. And most human habitats are in the same sorts of places. So most of the human habitats are in the same sorts of places as animal habitats like forests and grasslands. But humans and animals live in very different kinds of shelters. So animal shelters are different and the human shelters are different. So now let's think and answer these. So you will quickly take your rough book and find out the answer for all these questions so that it will be easy for us to discuss the lesson in the part 2. So you have to tell me, write the answer, name any two animals for the following. So here some questions are there. You are going to write any two animals name for the following questions. So before you write, we'll just have discuss here with the questions. Number 1, animals that live on land. So you are going to name two animals which lives on land. So there are many animals which lives on land, right? Yes, can you name them? So you will write lion. Yeah, it lives in the forest, right? So think and write the animals that lives on land. Okay. Yes, of course you can write. Giraffe. Yes. And then the camels. So will you write fish? No, because it is a water animal. The animals that live in deserts, animals that live in icy polar region, animals that live in water, animals that live on land and in water. Yes, the question is repeated here. So let me change the question here and we'll write it as this: animals that live on trees. So number 2 is animals that live on trees. So number 1 is the animals that live on land. So you will write any two animals that lives on land. Number 2 is animals that live on trees, animals that live in desert. Number 3, and animals that live in icy polar region. And number 5, animals that live in water. And number 6, animals that live on land and in water. So write these animals and keep the answers ready. And we'll see you in the next video. So thank you, children. Thank you, children. We'll see in the next video and the lesson will be continued in part 2. So stay home and write the answers. Bye-bye.